The unicorn is one of the most enduring and fascinating mythical creatures in human history, symbolizing purity, mystery, power, and imagination across many cultures and centuries. And although it has never been proven to exist in reality, its presence in literature, art, folklore, and cultural symbolism has been remarkably strong from ancient times to the modern era. Traditionally described as a horse-like animal with a single long, spiraled horn projecting from the center of its forehead, the unicorn is often portrayed as graceful, white or light-colored, and possessing an almost divine presence, which has led many civilizations to associate it with goodness, healing, and moral virtue. The earliest known references to unicorn-like creatures can be traced back to ancient civilizations, including Mesopotamia and the Indus Valley, where seals and carvings depict animals resembling horses or bulls with a single horn, suggesting that early humans may have either imagined such creatures or misinterpreted real animals through storytelling and artistic representation. Ancient Greek historians, such as Ctesias, who lived in the 4th century BCE, wrote accounts of a wild one-horned animal in India, describing it as fierce, swift, and powerful. And although his descriptions were likely influenced by travelers' tales or sightings of animals like rhinoceroses, his writings significantly contributed to the spread of the unicorn legend in the Western world. During the Middle Ages in Europe, the unicorn became deeply embedded in Christian symbolism, where it was often seen as a representation of Christ, purity, and divine grace, and medieval bestiaries claimed that the unicorn could only be tamed by a virgin, a story that was interpreted allegorically to represent spiritual purity and divine incarnation. The horn of the unicorn, known as the alicorn, was believed to possess miraculous healing properties, including the ability to neutralize poison, cure diseases, and purify water, which led to the widespread trade of supposed unicorn horns, many of which were actually narwhal tusks sold at extraordinary prices to royalty and wealthy elites. In Islamic tradition, while the unicorn itself is not mentioned in the Quran or authentic hadith, Islamic scholars and historians often categorized such creatures as part of mythological narratives rather than factual beings, emphasizing the importance of distinguishing imagination from divine revelation, yet acknowledging the cultural stories that humans create to express values and moral lessons. Across Persian, Chinese, and South Asian folklore, similar one-horned creatures appear under different names and forms, such as the qilin in Chinese mythology, which, although not identical to the European unicorn, shares symbolic meanings of peace, justice, and prosperity, demonstrating that the idea of a rare, noble, one-horned animal transcends geographical and cultural boundaries. From a psychological and anthropological perspective, the unicorn represents humanity's desire to believe in something pure and extraordinary in a world often filled with conflict and imperfection, and its continued popularity reflects a deep-rooted need for hope, wonder, and moral ideals. In modern times, the unicorn has evolved beyond its traditional mythological roots to become a symbol in popular culture, fantasy literature, films, and even business terminology, where the word unicorn is used to describe rare and highly successful startup companies, illustrating how ancient myths adapt to contemporary contexts. Children's stories often portray unicorns as gentle, magical companions, reinforcing themes of kindness, bravery, and imagination, while adult fantasy genres reimagine them as powerful, sometimes dangerous beings, highlighting the dual nature of myths as both comforting and awe-inspiring. Scientifically, there is no evidence supporting the existence of unicorns, and scholars agree that the legend likely originated from a combination of misidentified animals, artistic stylization, and human storytelling traditions passed down before being recorded in texts. Yet the absence of physical proof has not diminished the unicorn's cultural significance. Art historians note that medieval tapestries, Renaissance paintings, and modern digital art continue to depict unicorns in various styles, each reflecting the values and aesthetics of its time, which shows how mythology serves as a mirror for human creativity and belief systems. Ultimately, the unicorn stands as a powerful example of how myths are not merely false stories, but meaningful narratives that shape cultural identity, moral understanding, and artistic expression, reminding us that while the unicorn may not exist in the physical world, it lives vividly in the collective imagination of humanity, inspiring generations to dream beyond the limits of reality and to seek beauty, purity, and wonder in both the seen and unseen aspects of life.